welcome back to my channel, me, my dog and books, and it's time for another weekend reading vlog. It's Saturday morning. I've got my avocado and toast hoodie on. It's the comfiest thing ever. It's not that cool, sometimes it just gives me comfort. I'm not really sure what's happening this weekend. I should really stop yawning at you every time I start a vlog. Today my other half is up and away, and he went to Perthshire to do a kind of cycle. He's got like some sort of race thing on. It's like a 50-mile road bike cycle, so he's away for the day. So it's just me and the pups. Wait to see them. Compared to last week, they're pretty subdued. Patty's in her wee bed over there, and Lucy is curled up here. It is so, oh, I've got the ambience on. It's so quiet. And you're a wee bit squint because you're sitting on my chair. But we'll work with that. So yeah, slightly quieter one, I hope, than last week where they were going bonkers with their barking. I shouldn't jinx it. So I've not got my other book, so I was buddy reading this one, Do Not Disturb by Claire Douglas, with one of my friends on Instagram. I've been a terrible buddy reader this week, so literally I'd picked it up at the start of the week. And I had, work was just really busy, and I'd had a bereavement in my friendship group, so I'm not going into any detail around that, but it's been a bit of a week. So, and then other half been away from work, and yeah, so I never really got much time to pick this up. However, I will be finishing it this morning. It's a very, like, the last Claire Douglas book I read was, I should have it here somewhere. I can't find any of my books after I had to like rearrange them all. I don't know where it is. It was The Girls Who Disappeared, which was really good. This one is about a couple and their two daughters who take on like a, you know, kind of an old guest house. They basically move to somewhere in Wales. Clearly something's happened in their previous life where they've moved and made a huge life change. So getting ready, and then guests arrive, and then there's a guest that arrives who's a like long lost cousin of one of the owners of the new place of the couple, Kirsty, and I think her husband's called Adrian. And there's clearly stuff that's gone down there before. I mean, what Claire Douglas is good at doing is throwing loads of bits of information and possible plot twists that you're guessing the whole time at you. So she makes for a very bingeable read. Short chapters too, so it shouldn't take me too long to finish. I just feel bad that I've not been the best buddy reader this week. And then the other one, hold on, I'll get it. And the other one I was supposed to have picked up at the start of the week so I could get it read and finished for Sunday night, because I've got Lauren and the Books Patreon book club, was Restless Dolly Maunder by Kate Grenville. Historical fiction, and was longlisted for the Women's Prize for Fiction. I think it might be. I think it's also been shortlisted, because the shortlist was announced at the start of the week, Monday, I think. So I've not started it, and the book club's tomorrow. But have a look. I don't think it's too long. 239 pages, and the text looks okay. So that is today's, or I should say, that is this weekend's challenge. Read this before 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Will that happen? I'll let you know. I'm still reading The Family Experiment and Blue Sisters by Coco Mellors. The Family Experiment by John Mars, because my reading's been a bit rubbish this week. So I've been mostly on audio. when I've been out and about, so need to finish this, start and finish this, and then I'll get back on to those ones which I'd definitely like to try and finish before like the first week in May. So what will I do today? I will finish that book. The pups are all quiet, so I'll probably go a wee morning run to set me up for the weekend, then walk them, then start that book. I don't have the car because the other half's got it for his race today, so tuttering around at home. Hopefully as the sun comes out it's dry, which is good. It looks like it's kind of grey but the sun's trying to get out, so might do some tuttering in the garden. And attempt number 2 at my blueberry muffins, because I bought fresh blueberries to see if that works. Because when I tried it a couple of weekends ago, I used frozen blueberries and it didn't work out too well. They were a bit soggy. So that is my plans, which are not many plans. I have started a cross stitch, which has taken me ages. Any like good cross stitchers here, right? Does it take ages? Like I'm liking it because it's keeping my hand and my mind busy, you know, if I'm sitting on the couch and watching like a movie or something, like I did last night, but I'm very slow. But I have to try and keep momentum up so that I don't, you know, do the usual start a craft and then give up on it. I got I showed you in one of my previous vlogs, I got a kind of cross stitch kit from Hobbycraft, but I've signed up to Caterpillar Cross Stitch, so they do like every 2 months they send you a kit, so I'm going to see if that works out for me. I also during the week have sorted tickets to 4 other author events, so I'll tell you about them later. 3 of them are at Edinburgh Book Festival. The Edinburgh Book Festival comes to Edinburgh during the Fringe Festival every August, so I'm very excited about that. 2 of which I'm going on my own and 1 I'm going with someone in work, but I'll tell you about that later. So yeah, I'll get on with this book, finish my cup of coffee and go for a run. Catch you later. Just not long back my run, then I walked Lucy and Patty, who have had their breakfast and a crunchy carrot. Oh, I think Lucy might be coming through. Hey Lucy! Hey! You saying hi to people? Saying hi, there's Patty. Patty! Patty! Do you say hello? Jump, jump, jump. So yes, I'm a bit of a sweaty mess. But before I have a shower et al, maybe a bath, well, I'm still a little sweaty. I'm going to cut the grass because the sky has turned blue and sunny. It's still quite cold, but that was perfect running weather. I don't like it too hot. Like, not that it ever gets mega hot here, thank God. I'm not good in the heat. But what was I going to tell you? I went on my run to finish, well, I didn't go on my run to finish a book, but while I was running, I decided to listen to the last novella, In Different Seasons by Stephen King. It's The Breathing Method. That was really good. So each of the novellas in different seasons are a season. So this is the winter one. Starts off with spring, which is the Shawshank Redemption. So finished this on my run. So I'm just letting it percolate. There's 4 novellas. Each of them I feel a bit different about, so I'll have a think. But also check this like cover. It's so 80s, it's ridiculous. I love it. Let me see. I think this one is 1986. Look at the cover. Picked this up secondhand. And then, because I finished that, and just as I was walking Lucy and Patty, just hear them tip-tapping around. Let you outside while I mow the grass. I I started listening to Codependent, which is one of the Women's Prize for Non-Fiction long list. I think it's made the shortlist too. I've only just started it, but it's really about the moral and implications and our dependency on code and artificial intelligence, and how connected we are and how much data a lot of big tech in the world have on us, and its impact on humanity. As someone that works in digital marketing, I'm very overtly aware of what the big tech companies do and the means of targeting people and marketing people, although I market good things, culture and sport. Yeah, I know it's going to creep me out. A little bit like the other book that I read, Doppelganger by Naomi Klein, which is also on the long list. Is it on the short list? Double check and let you know. Come here, Patty. She's so long. She's so long. Lucy's wanting out. Out you go then. The two of them are in the back garden now. I'm sure they'll start barking. Yeah. Oh, it's been quiet for too long already this morning, hasn't it? She's barking at another dog barking somewhere else in suburbia. Right, well, I'm getting my headphones on and about to mow the lawn. Well, done my run. What else did I do? Walked the dogs, mowed the front and back lawn, and I've just been to the wee supermarket because I'm going to make bean burgers. I needed bean rolls. Bean rolls? I need burger buns. I got myself, I always, to keep my vase on the table. This was a second-hand vase I got for the charity shop. Got in charity shops. There's one right next to where I go in. And the Bernardo's next to the Tesco I go into. Oh, is that this raincoat? How good is this? It's a full-length raincoat. Always needed. See, oh, let me see if I stand that. Good pockets. A good raincoat in it. Anyway, I actually went in not to get anything but to donate some board games and books from when I was doing my bookshelf the other day. So I got this. Some maple Blackberry. I'm not a label person, so it doesn't bother me. Got some onion rings for the other half because he loves them. I don't. Salad for the burgers. Tomatoes for the burgers. Avocado because the other half wants avocado and toast in the morning. My bananas. Some sourdough bread. Anyway, you didn't want to see or need to see the contents of my new shop, but that's what I popped out to get. It's the only thing I went out to get. Oh, so I'm going to make the bean burgers, which mostly consist of 4 ingredients, and then you bake them in the oven. 2 cans of kidney beans, rinsed and drained, 100 grams of breadcrumbs, 2 teaspoons of mild chilli powder, and a small bunch of coriander. I quite like coriander, but you know how like some people taste coriander and it tastes like soap to them? That's the other half, so I'll probably put in parsley instead. And I've got like a recipe for vegan Big Mac sauce. 3 tablespoons of yogurt, so we'll use soy yogurt. So you could use dairy yogurt if you had it. 2 teaspoons of yellow mustard. I don't know if I've got yellow mustard. 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 2 teaspoons of paprika, and 1 teaspoon of white wine vinegar. And that makes a vegan Big Mac sauce, apparently. I mean, the only vegan thing about it is the type of yogurt or meal you use. You use meal as well. So that's the plan for dinner, because I was going to make fajitas and then the sun has been shining, so it made me think burgers and chips in the air fryer, so I'll make them on chips. Did you ask for my information about my dinner tonight? No, but you got it nonetheless. And as you'll have seen, I was reading in the garden. I started Restless Dolly Maunder. I'm only like 50 odd pages in, so not too far. But Dolly is a lovely character, set in the late 1800s, early 1900s. So nice bit of historical fiction. So I'm going to make the base of the burgers, make them into patties, put them in the fridge, and then sit outside and read for a wee bit before I then start baking things for dinner. It's sunny and it's sunny, and I've achieved a lot already this morning. Yes, I'm in my other half's messy office. There's bikes and everything around in here. It's not my book haven, but they're currently in the living room watching football, so I'm in here recording, and to be fair, at least the sun is shining, I'm getting it on my face. I've got some Moroccan mint tea in my Sprout cup. My friend got me that for Christmas because she knows I love my veg. And I've got some books to show you because I finished 3 books this weekend and I have different feelings about them all. I did watch, what did I start to watch? Alright, so Friday night I think I may be touching the Boston Strangler from 1968 featuring Tony Curtis. I mean, it's dark, right? And obviously because of when, I actually can't remember what decade the Boston Strangler was. It maybe the 50s, the 60s. Anyway, you're watching it, and it's not necessarily a film per se, because it's obviously a reflection of the period at the time. The misogyny and the victim blaming by like the media and the police during all of that, and also the mental health representation is like shocking. But again, I don't think it's the film. I think it is what effectively is close to what happened in respect to the Boston Strangler case. So found that interesting, except a bit icky. And then last night, our movie choices, I had shortlisted 2 and I got the other half to pick, except he fell asleep, went to his bed halfway through. But the movie Blackberry, which looks really good, so might watch that tonight. But I'm very tired, so see, I'm always tired. I think I get up too early and do stuff. Anyway, so we watched Poor Things, one with Emma Stone, or Emily Stone as she wants to be called now, that's her real name. Visually fantastical. I get what the story's about, but it just wasn't for me. I bowed out halfway through. And I know loads of people love it. And I know it's based on a book by Alistair Gray, who is a well-known Scottish author, an artist. But it's not for me. It just wasn't for me. But so many people love it. It gets such high ratings on Rotten Tomatoes, and
Internet Movie Database, IMDb. So don't listen to me. But to be fair, I'm feeling a bit flat right now, and it's only because I've literally just finished. I got up this morning and I finished this book. Yesterday I finished this book. Also finished Stephen King's Different Seasons, and I got a wee delivery I'll show you. But I just finished Codependent, which is shortlisted for the Women's Prize for Fiction. I think I can hear Patty at the door. Hold on. You come in? John, you gonna say hello? Peppermint, you come and say hello? You come and say hello? Come and say hello to our booktube friends. Hello. Ooh, tickling under armpits. Tickle, tickle, tickle. Put you back down, put you down before you see someone and start barking, and then it all kicks off. That's her tail wagging on the table. Must hurt doing that. Yeah, so I finished this book. This book is shortlisted for the Women's Prize for Non-Fiction this year, and I can see why. It is an exploration of AI and its impact on our everyday lives. It's so, like, it is in a really accessible way, because often you can say AI, which in the book it does recognise that it's probably the wrong term for it, because artificial intelligence isn't actually that intelligent. It's just a statistical application. Anyway, by the by, this might sound dead techy and not for everyone, but Madhumita, who is the author, she's a scientist and turned to writing, has written for Wired magazine, but also like broadsheet newspapers. I think she's British based, could be wrong. And she makes it so accessible because she actually focuses on the ordinary lives, or like takes some kind of key case studies. So from data labourers in parts of the developing world, data labourers, content moderators, app-based workers, so people that are working for the likes of Uber, Lyft, Deliveroo, Amazon and the likes, and how a lot of their job is either shaping or being defined by AI. So like it's so fascinating. And fundamentally for app-based workers, so if you're like an Uber driver, for example, your work is being defined by algorithms. Fundamentally, it's turning your work into a contest, and the prize is your livelihood. And all because of the nature that a lot of this AI intelligence, like tech, is all being built by big tech. Big tech is run by powerful, privileged, mostly white men, and therefore inequity is in it by default. So you look at like facial recognition software, which was originally apparently created to do good, to help find missing people, missing kids, but in actual fact, because of our innately misogynistic, racist biases in the Western world, where a lot of this tech has been developed, despite where they then farm out some of this work too to help influence it. You know, you've got people of colour being negatively impacted by the likes of facial recognition, both like just in your day-to-day, but also for identifying when it's being used by police, when protesters, or all of like, it is mind-blowing, and I feel hungover from it. As like, I literally feel like I'm about to enter into an existential crisis. Which I caveat that like not everybody wants to read a book that puts them in that headspace, and I'm feeling like, I mean, there is hope, and there is talk of hope about we have to be aware of not sleepwalking into a world that is so heavily reliant and unregulated AI. And it's in, you know, like in our healthcare systems, in our home office, and security in identifying who gets welfare benefits. Like, oh, I'm exhausted. Like, I feel like I could sleep for a week after reading that. I feel like my mind was being blown all the time. And I don't know what to do with it. It's kind of the way I felt by Doppelganger by Naomi Klein. Also shortlisted for the Women's Prize for Fiction. Anyway, I need to lift myself up. This is not going to be a fun end to my weekend reading vlog if I just stay in this. But literally, I'm like, I need to watch like something comforting or eat something comforting to just lift my Rise of the Machines. Maybe I'll watch Terminator. That's a bad move. Well, before I talk about the other books I'm reading, I'll show you something pretty because that'll cheer me up. Right. So if you are an Evernight subscriber, look away now if you've not received your package. Evernight is, I'm not sponsored by the way. Evernight is like Lumicrate. A lot of people know about the Lumicrate book subscription, which is like a fantasy book subscription. I'm not a fantasy reader, but they do a quarterly horror book subscription called Evernight, which was on the waiting list from November, and I finally got it like about 2 months ago, and I was like, ah! So this is my first one, and it is a book that I have. I mean, look at these spreadsheets. Can't believe I'm talking to you and I haven't even mentioned it, but this is a book I have on my wish list, but it doesn't look like this. So this is an Evernight exclusive, and it's the new book by Simone St. James called Murder Road. You see that? I mean, it looks like a pop art cover, doesn't it? And then wait till you see the insides. I'll try to do this without damaging the book. And then there's a map. It's delightful. Anyway, this is the story about this couple. I can't remember their name. April and Eddie. And they drive down this road. They see a woman down in front of them, kind of abandoned. They get her in the car. It's not until she's in the car that they realise that there's blood on her. And anyway, by the time they get to the kind of closest local town, she's dead, and then they're being held responsible. And then they discover this is not the only time something like this has happened. And then they know that the only way they can escape all this is by going down this road again, which is dangerous. That is all I know. It's quite a lot, isn't it? But how beautiful. It's by Michael Joseph, and this is an Evernight exclusive, but it's so pretty. I'm looking forward to putting this on my shelf in full display. I mean, reading it. Obviously. So beautiful. Anyway, I'll need to take that off me. And then I finished my Stephen King of the month, which is Different Seasons, which is 4 novellas. One is Rita Hayworth in Shawshank Redemption, which is what the movie Shawshank Redemption is based on. Apt Pupil, The Body, and The Breathing Method. His novellas are a bit hit and miss with me sometimes. And I love Stephen King, but I really enjoyed this. I would say this is probably a 4 out of 5, mostly because I really enjoyed 3 out of the 4 novellas. Rita Hayworth in Shawshank Redemption is wonderful, wonderful. The Apt Pupil is dark, like dive bombs into a really dark place. Apparently he wrote that after he wrote The Shining. The Body is what the movie Stand By Me, where River Phoenix is based on. I kind of prefer the movie because it is a slow burner. Feel bad saying that, but you know, the movie wouldn't exist without the book. And then The Breathing Method, which, to quote, is a macabre story told in a strange club of women determined to give birth no matter what. So I mean, goes a whole other place. What did he say? There's an author's note at the end, so that's why I know, like, when he had written all these at different times. I think The Breathing Method was, I can't remember. I know Shawshank was after Dead Zone, which wasn't a favourite. Anyway, I really did that. Kind of went between a mix of audio and that for this. And it's Different Seasons, as in it goes from spring kind of roughly where it's set. So that was good. A great page turner of a thriller, Do Not Disturb by Claire Douglas. A couple move away from where they are in the city to own a kind of guest house somewhere closer to the country, do it up. An unexpected visitor comes along, and by that I like long lost, not long lost, but they've chosen not to be in touch cousin. Stuff happens, like dead roses turn up on the floor and a few other things. So I'm kind of like, there's loads of like, I'm not saying red herrings because a lot of them come together. There's loads of unusual happenings, and then you start to wonder, and then, well, it's not a spoiler because it kind of says near the back. Oh no, it doesn't. Does it? No, it doesn't. So, could your dream home be your worst nightmare? In true Claire Douglas style, very twisty, a cracking page turner, short chapters, and I flew through this. Bit far-fetched at times, but sometimes I'm up for that when it comes to a thriller. So solid page turner. And then last but not least, I finished another book shortlisted in the Women's Prize for Fiction, which is Restless Dolly Maunder by Kate Grenville. She's an Australian author, I think. And it's historical fiction. We follow Dolly, who the author said, the author states is based on her grandmother. And Dolly's sort of started at the late 1800s into the early mid-19th century, or 1900s, sorry. And Dolly pushes against all this sort of patriarchal expectations of women. I'm genuinely really surprised that this is shortlisted for the Women's Prize for Fiction. It was an easy enough read in that I get notifications on my phone, work notifications. I'm really surprised because, I mean, I read it really quickly, so that's saying something. Dolly was a character that was difficult to like at times, and that's not often an issue. But of the period of time where you see Dolly pushing against all the expectations of a woman not owning businesses or just being a wife and mother, and that's it, and not being allowed any other choice than that, she pushes against a lot of that, and you see her kind of go through her life from being quite young and then until her death, I think. So, you know, it was an easy enough read, but I'm just really surprised. Like, I didn't think it was what I would expect a shortlist for the Women's Prize for Fiction to be. I also thought there was an absolutely glaring omission, given where this was set in Australia and the period of time, about Dolly's lack of, like, absolute omission of Dolly's privilege as a white woman at that time. Not saying that, you know, women in general didn't have it much more challenging when they couldn't own property or work, or they were deemed. However, that position, if you're a First Nations people or First Nation people, and the land grabbing that white people, including white women, profited from, really put a dampener on this. There is literally about a paragraph at the very end where the author tries to acknowledge in a really lame way, which is that they also, like, the lives of Dolly and her forebears all stand on the taking of land, but the family stories I drew on for this book are silent about the truth. They also record no awareness of the enduring sorrow all the taking meant and means. For First Nations people, as Dolly's granddaughter, I want to acknowledge that silence and sorrow. I've told one story here, but standing beside it is another. Like, kudos, she actually acknowledged it, but there's no reference about the colonialism and the racism at that period of time, which has been so prevalent. And I'm not saying her grandmother Dolly didn't have it hard, but she didn't have it as hard as like the First Nations people who just had all their land stolen from them, and First Nations women. So that kind of put a downer on it, I'm going to be honest. I don't know. I'll have a think about my rating when I do my April wrap up, which I'll film right after this. Anyway, I feel that was a bit of an up and downy Sunday. And, you know, I've already been up, finished 2 books, been a run, and I'm going to make gnocchi for dinner. I'm going to make blueberry muffins. Maybe that'll cheer me up. Oh, it's funny how books can just so fundamentally impact your mood. I'm still reeling from the code of conduct. I'll need to do something to cheer me up. Eh, Patty? Doggy cuddles. And I have some beds to make. Lucky me. The patriarchy. Anyway, as always, thanks for coming along and watching along with another weekend reading vlog. I'll be back next week when I am getting, I'll be back next week because I'll be entering into a week of annual leave to try and get stuck into our garden project. I'll keep you posted. And I am now going to record my April reading wrap up because I don't think I'm going to finish another book before May starts, so I'll do that too, and hopefully let you see the final version of my bookcases that I had to dismantle the other weekend or during the week there. Anyway, I started again earlier, so I'll wrap up now. Thanks as always for watching, for liking and subscribing. I do appreciate each and every one of my comments and anyone that watches for even a nanosecond. I am so very grateful. Thank you. And if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you next week. Bye!